What's going on, guys? Stanford Hate Week. This is video 1. I plan to have another video out that is gonna express my true hatred for Stanford. And it's not really even hate, it's just revenge is on the horizon. You did not get our best game last year. I guarantee you that. You Stanford guys want to beat your just what happened last year in your house, blah 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 blah, chirpy chirpy. That wasn't our 100% game. Our defense played pretty good in that game, I'll give you that. But you only scored 17, and 3 of that, of course, was in overtime. So it just says to me that our defense played really well on a team that was playing kind of out of their minds at that point, just over their heads, I think. And your team's not doing that this year. Your team is, squeaking by really bad teams like Army. Come on, you beat Army by 14. That says it enough. You couldn't pull away from Army. How do you think you're gonna face when you face our juggernaut offense? It's just not gonna happen. Our defense is so locked and loaded this year. It just feels like this year's different. I don't know what it is about our D, but it just feels like they're playing with a chip on their shoulder every single ball game. Like every single ball game, they're the underdog. Is how they're playing, in my opinion. And that is really weird of the number 2 team in the country. Not a lot of programs or not a lot of teams, I think, do that. This team, the defense in general, goes out there and hits hard and goes maliciously after people. Like they want to just, prove to the nation that this team is not just a one-trick pony with the offense. That defense is going to have something to say for y'all come Thursday night. And they're going to give you the 110%. This game, to me, I think is going to be a culmination of Oregon's absolute best game. You're going to see the cornerbacks get not beat deep. You're going to keep everything in front of you. The linebackers are going to tackle well in space. They're going to cover the middle. And the front 5 is going to get pressure on Hogan. And then you bring in the offense. Mariota is going to have his Heisman moment this game. Winston didn't have a great game against Miami. Threw 2 interceptions. He just didn't have the great game that we were all expecting. The running game won that game for FSU. This is Mariota's chance to really shine, to just pull away in the Heisman Trophy race. I think he's already leading it in most people's standings, especially after Winston's bad game. Now you go in and play the number 5 team in the country on the road. If Mariota comes out of there without another pick and a couple touchdowns, it's just going to set him up to really solidify himself as the absolute best quarterback in the nation. Now, do I expect a little bit of a game from Stanford? Yeah, I think they'll keep it close for a half, kind of like UCLA did. UCLA was supposed to be this huge, outrageous test. They're just, oh my gosh, Hundley is so good, blah, blah, blah. And, they scored 14 points. Now, Stanford, I don't think, has the number of playmakers to really burn us. Yes, they have Montgomery, who's a fantabulous wide receiver. He's great and all, whatever. He's one player that, honestly, our guys can cover. Hogan is not the same quarterback he was last year. He's just not playing that game. He's having a sophomore slump, if you will. I don't know about your running game. I don't know. I think you're missing Stephon Taylor more than you want to admit. I just think Stanford is going to come into this game and they're going to play tough for a half in front of their fans, which is kind of a lackluster home what would you call it? Home field advantage, lackluster. It's just not there. It's not like Autzen Stadium. But I expect to win this game. You want my score prediction? I will give you 56-21 Oregon. That, we're going to beat you bad. It's going to be a lot like the UCLA game. We score points in bunches in the second half. If that game is close at halftime, look for the same exact thing that happened to UCLA. That's all I'm going to say. It's just a different ball team in the second half. And I don't even think we're going to come out flat in the second half or in the first half. I just think you're going to play to our level in the first half. And you're going to get, it's just going to end. That's what happens is a lot of teams play to our level in the first half, and then they get worn down in the second half, and we start running our game, and the minute we get our game clicking into our tempo, it's over. Nobody can hang with us. Byron Marshall is playing out of his mind. Anthony Thomas came out and said we're going to score uh, 40 points. Like, we should put up at least 40. I want a huge win. We're only favored to win this game by 11. It's growing every day, but right now it's 11. See, the thing that I looked at is FSU did exactly what everybody thought they would do. Go out and blow out Miami at home. They did exactly what everybody thought they would do. Oregon, however, it's supposed to be a close game. If Oregon goes out there and wins like I think they can, there's no way that we don't jump back into the number 2 spot and hold it for the rest of the year, because you look at the schedules, it's night and day with Oregon and FSU. Night and day. There's not one team on there or FSU's remaining schedule that's like, oh, that's a good win. Except maybe the ACC champion, who could be Miami again. But anyway, I'm getting into things I don't want to talk about. This is Stanford week. Fuck Stanford. It's Revenge of the Birds. We're coming out and we're crashing your party, Stanford. It's not even going to be silly what we're going to do to you guys. This defense, I think in particular, wants to prove something. I mean, the offense is going to come out and do their thing. Don't you worry about that. The offense will show. But the defense, I think, is coming out more fired up than anybody in this game. And that's scary. That is truly scary. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll have more for you little fuckers later. But enjoy your number 5 ranking while you can, because come Thursday, it won't be there. Oregon will curb stomp that number 5 right out of you. Go Ducks, guys.